Ishin is a game that has been long awaited by Western fans. It is a remake of the 2014 PS3 game Ryuga Gotoku Ishin, which was never released outside of Japan. As a fan of the Yakuza series, I was eager to dive into this game, and I have to say, I'm not disappointed. First, let's talk about the story. Like a Dragon Ishin takes place in late 1860s Kyoto, modern-day Kyoto, at the end of the Edo period. The arrival of Western ships bearing vastly superior technology has thrown Japan into a conflict between loyalist forces fighting to restore the emperor and those on the side of the Bukafu, or the shogunate. The main character, Sakamoto Ryoma, is a skilled ronin out to avenge the brutal murder of his adopted father, a prominent loyalist. He takes on the name Saito Hajime and infiltrates the Shinsengumi, a police force loyal to the shogunate that runs Kyoto, searching for the killer based on the only thing he knows: his style of swordsmanship. What starts as a simple revenge story quickly becomes anything but, and Ryoma is soon balancing his quest for revenge with changing Japan's entire political system. I found the game's setting and storyline to be very interesting. It was fascinating to see how the game developers incorporated real historical figures into the game's narrative and the conflict between the loyalist and shogunate forces. The complexity of the political system and period-specific language used in the game made it more challenging, but it was a rewarding experience to learn more about this era of Japanese history. While some fans might be disappointed with the lack of English dubs, I found the choice to be a smart one. It helped me immerse myself in the game's setting and culture, and it was a nice touch that added to the game's authenticity. The city of Kyoto is the game's main setting, and the developers did an incredible job of making it feel like a place that lives, breathes, and exists outside of the player. The various neighborhoods and districts such as Fushimi, Mukurogai, Gion, and Rakunai have their own unique characteristics and activities to keep the player engaged. I enjoyed exploring Kyoto and discovering new stores, restaurants, and activities to participate in. One of the game's strengths is the emphasis on mini-games and sub-stories, which are scattered all over Kyoto. Like other games in the series, Kyoto is populated with stores, restaurants, and plenty of activities to keep you busy. The game has a variety of unique mini-games that are a blast to play, such as the singing bar, chicken racing, dancing, and karaoke. The sub-stories vary in tone from serious and heartwarming to incredibly silly, and they represent the game at its best. However, not everything in the game is perfect. One issue I had with the game was the bond system, which encourages you to make friends with other characters. All of these start as sub-stories, which isn't the issue. It's how repetitive some of the bonds can be. Some of them involve doing mundane tasks, and the rewards for completing them are not always worth the effort. Another issue I had with the game was the lack of explanation for the period-specific language and politics. While the story is complex and well-written, the glossary that explains some of the terminology is somewhat limited, and players who are not familiar with Japanese history may struggle to fully understand the game's political intricacies. It would have been helpful to have more background information included to make the game more accessible to those who are not as knowledgeable about Japanese history. Additionally, the combat system in Like a Dragon Ishin may not be for everyone. The game features a turn-based combat system, which is a departure from the real-time combat found in other games in the series. While I personally enjoyed the new combat system, some players may find it slow and unengaging compared to the more fast-paced combat of previous Yakuza Like a Dragon games. In conclusion, Ishin is a must-play for fans of the Yakuza Like a Dragon and those interested in Japanese history. The game's storyline and setting are fascinating, and the attention to detail in creating the city of Kyoto is impressive. The mini-games and sub-stories are a fun distraction from the main story, but the bond system could use some improvements. While the combat system may not be for everyone, it is still worth experiencing for the overall experience of the game. So that was all for today's review, and if it was informative for you, please take some seconds to like this video. And lately I'm playing a lot of games, so if you want more reviews and other gaming content, make sure to subscribe.